inform you that we have a special envoy in the name of Dr. Farzam Kamalabadi. He is the President's special envoy on international relations and economic development. And I want to believe that some of you have already interacted with him. He is here to support us in execution of our mandate, colleagues. We have a senior management team, deputy permanent secretaries here. We have excellencies, ambassadors online. We have directors, deputy directors, and also we have deputy heads of missions and their teams. Everywhere. So most welcome to this engagement. I think this is the initial engagement. We will have occasion, to have an extensive engagement so that he can assist us in the execution of our mandates in our respective stations.
And greetings and blessings. Also from here, I'll say best morning. To some of you is the morning and to some best evening. So wonderful to be in touch. I will briefly first say my name is Farzam Kamalabadi, as our Honorable PS pronounced it very correctly. For the first phase, how I come to be with Botswana, in Botswana, with His Excellency Mr. President, with the whole system of the government. A quick brief. My group is Future Trends. We have been very active with US, China, Arab world, globally. We have a network in 150 or plus countries. A very unusually vast and effective network. We have done at least 300 successful transactions. Some of them are world-class, iconic, totaling 35 billion US dollars, including the first ever sovereign wealth fund of the Arab world investing into China, into the banking. Also the US Exim Bank loan to China, and also China outbound investment. Then without China, between each other, many countries. And we also have done a whole series of initiatives throughout Africa. I was the key instrumental factor behind the surprise rise of China. So we are talking about a vision and a mission that is continent-wide, that is created a movement called the collective, peaceful rise of Africa. Collective because it is all the nations and all the elements within each nation, and it is peaceful because it's not indignant, angered, or against anyone. It is inclusive. Also, it is fast. That's why we call it the surprise rise of Africa. This is the background into which we appear into Botswana. So the surprise rise, everybody says Africa rise, but it doesn't happen. Surprise means that it will happen immediately, quickly, fast, noticeably, and surprise Africa and Africans, and will surprise even the global community. Unexpected. What way it happened in China, even more forcefully for Africa. So that means there is a mega trend in which all of you, all of us will be involved and are already involved, but it will accelerate fast. There is a benchmark. The whole of Africa, 1.5 billion people, 55 countries, total GDP is only $3 trillion. The size of one city of China, Shanghai. And that is unfortunate, we will change it. The benchmark, there is a benchmark that the whole of Africa GDP must fly high to $60 trillion in 1 decade or so. So no more Vision 2063, but Vision 2036 is real. So the benchmark is to create at least 20 African nations that are first world class, not second, not third. It is the concept that, and the goal and the objective that most African nations in a short time they should become the same level of economy of Europe, US, China, and the Arab world. It looks very far away from the reality. That's why they created Vision 2063, but for me it is too far, too little, and a promise not to deliver. So we want to change that scenario. That means the entirety of Africa, must come up par with the world community, same level of economic and finance and development in a very short time. That's why we call the surprise rise of Africa. Now, within it, there is many methodologies, modeling and policies and systems. It so happens that Botswana will be the what we call headquarters or epicenter or the vortex point where all of this transformation will happen. First inside Botswana and through Botswana spilled over to other elements of Africa. It is important to know that personally through that movement, through the presidential inauguration of Tinubu and Shetima, whom I met, and through the daughter of the senator there, Miss Bola, I met and became friend with the person I call the spirit brother, Sir Duma Gideon Boko, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. So we have consulted many times, and he has always expressed he wants to create a model miracle nation. A model miracle nation that will be a front runner and the epicenter, therefore, and benchmark examples so that other African nations also fast track their transformation. So under that, we have consulted constantly. I have minimum 1,800 WhatsApps. I have met him over 10 times, maybe more. And then the concept became formalized when he appointed me officially as presidential envoy on international relations and economic development. Means everything international and global and everything domestic to do with economy and finance. So it is called the Botswana that is the epicenter of Africa with minimum 20 major initiatives, each of which have the potential to create $1 trillion economy. So we are not after making the 20 billion GDP to become only 200 billion. We have to aim highest, and even by default, we reach to half of it, which I don't intend to. We intend to finish all of it and beyond. We have to create a Botswana that is in reality the Switzerland of not only Africa but globally. So one of the elements is because of your own culture of peace, unity, consultation, safety, security, financial stability, we have to use that brand before it disappears because of the rise of the prices of diamond, which all know. Diversify, not away from diamond, but on top of diamond. So the diamond equation will multiply, but on top of that will be many other elements. One of them is called making Botswana the savings and deposit, the cash deposit capital of the world. And if not of the world, at least of Africa. So that means that your higher interest yield that will be sustained and will activate behind the scene the machinery of high investment, high returns and high frequency investment, that will be capable of doing that on a large scale, so that the Asian monies and even the Western monies that are silent in the bank accounts, that are giving only 1% interest rate, will shift on a bulk of the large scales within a short time of 1 year to 2 to create $1 trillion savings here, which will go to the investments of the high yield, not only in Botswana, but also abroad to the other countries of Africa. So a vortex again, inbound, outbound. So this is something that the experts will be reviewing and come with the policies around it. But also other areas, every area of finance first, whether it is a Pula become digitalized e-Pula, or a full-fledged digital bank to be created, or a number of funds and capital. So on the finance in the national planning development program keynote, we have increased at least 10 elements of finance. Creation of funds, whether it is infrastructure fund, energy fund, and not only for Botswana, but through Botswana for Africa. And mineral resources bank, agricultural resources bank, and even a hybrid sovereign wealth fund, future generation fund in classic assets and in digital assets. So we have already brought delegations for the digitalization of all the different elements of Botswana. As His Excellency President has gone to Estonia, and so also from other quarters, there are players that come in to enable this. For the beneficiation of Botswana to the maximum, anything we will do will be different than the past. Any foreign investment will come in, must have joint venture with the different tiers of the Botswana private economy and also government economy, so that the beneficiation will be transferred. And none of them can take raw material and go out. Everything will be processed and enhance the value here, and it will be done in participation with the local economy. What are the other areas of the key areas of the rise? First, all the other mineral assets. You have a mineral asset which is the mother of diamonds, and that is coal. We are working on many players, not just China, with the clean coal technologies, coal to basically whether gas, liquid, or X, or coal as an energy, or coal as petrochemical clusters. That will be unleashed. Besides coal is the coal bed methane. You have 200 TCF of coal bed methane. That is both, again, for energy and also for petrochemicals, for fertilizers. We don't notice that the mother of fertilizers is also these gas. So that means it affects agriculture. But we have 212 billion metric tons of coal. So the mother of diamond will be activated. Each one of these are potentially $1 trillion industry and operations here. Then you have also your copper belt. The copper belt, we have the first one, Congo, then Zambia, and the third is Botswana. In fact, Botswana's potentials are large. Again, investors in the copper, in the processing, in all the energy that is needed here. So that means these are the different, we know everything else about the coal, the soda ash, we know about associates with the copper, cobalt, gold, titanium, silver, many other products, magnesium, manganese, and we have work. We have, at the moment, I have a delegation, top multi-billionaire delegation from Hong Kong, whom I know 30 years, who have the ability to bring a very huge industry here, 40 million tons of iron ore from South Africa. This is the largest mine of the world owned by them, to bring the product here and create smelting. This itself alone has the potential, I don't want to say it will, it has the potential of 50,000 works. So any one of these keynote elements, even it takes 3 years, that will happen, it can revolutionize the destiny of Botswana first and then affect Africa. So then we have activated, I'll explain to you what we have done. Just as an example, because it reflects your work, I'll give you one case, and the case of China. So in the case of China, I was ushered in with His Excellency, Mr. Minister, I hope you are there, and all my hat goes off to you. And also today, the last 3 days, our Excellency, Mr. Minister Butale, is in China. We as Future Trends arranged 7 groups of investors in the past 3 days, going to the embassy, meeting with him, altogether about 50 top investors, each one of whom will bring delegations. So it is like the grape, or it is like the Christmas tree, that we have activated that corridor. The good thing is that our brother, Mr. P.S., also they wrote a letter to the missions here. So I have met with 7 ambassadors, the France ambassador, the British ambassador, Japan, also China, and even Ukraine, Turkish. So the Chinese ambassador, because they know my history, they got very excited to turn the 1 billion trade volume transaction, which is very little, to multiply to 100 billion in the next 5 years. So this is a picture of how the entire nation is galvanized, will be galvanized, and all your missions, end to end, will play a preponderating share and important role in it. That means I would want that the contact that has been given to you, each one of you, please contact me on even WhatsApp, not email. We want to move fast. please contact me on WhatsApp, and we will design a program for each of you in your country of residence, how we annex our connections there to you. And at the same time, your counterpart here, that will be the receiving end. So right now we have in the China point to point. His Excellency the Ambassador there, and His Excellency the Ambassador here, point to point, and each one point to multi-point. So from China we will activate literally thousands of companies. My hope is that within half a year, we will have at least 500 investors visiting Botswana.
Thank you, PS. Just a quick one. I just want to appreciate Doctor for this presentation, which surely knits together all the initiatives, the dream, the vision that His Excellency the President has. I think this time we are seeing the connectivities and the coordination of ideas, and also the zeal and the strategy in addressing the issues that must be dealt with. I just wanted to say that I appreciate the presentation, and as far as it addresses a balanced, issues together, youth, different sectors, and it highlights the major sectors that are going to be attended to drive economic development, create jobs, improve livelihoods, and position Botswana as the place, for economic development. And I also want to appreciate that we have mentioned Africa. We that are in Africa, my name is Farzam. I'm in Nigeria, and I know that this is the area that cannot be ignored any longer. And thank you for making attention to Nigeria and to the African market, and to say that we are looking forward to engaging with you on the Nigeria and the Western African market because of the opportunities that we have seen.